business out here in New York, you gotta treat our people right. And so if you can go to space, you can give our workers a bathroom break. Ain't that right?
I want to thank every Amazon employee because you guys paid for all this.
How much money does Bezos and the other billionaires need? You would think if you got $170 billion, who would give a shit about putting a few more $1 billion into workers' pockets so you're down to...
Wow. I love Bernie. Bernie is fucking great, man. Look at Bernie having this small scale little conversation with other workers. Like, look at this shit.
Billionaires need. You would think if you got $170 billion, who would give a shit about putting a few more $1 billion into workers' pockets so you're down to $168 billion, right? Yeah, you probably can afford to go to the movies.
We don't believe that we need a union to be an intermediary between us and our employees.
You work here?
Yes, I do, sir.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Good.
How are you?
Union?
Huh?
You gonna support union?
I support anything that's gonna benefit my circumstances, you know? So
working people are sick and tired of falling further and further behind while billionaires like Bezos become much richer. They don't want a $500 million yacht. They don't want a $23 million mansion that you have in Washington, D.C. What do they want? They want housing that is affordable. They want to be able to put away a few bucks to send their kids to college.
Seriously, for every Amazon customer out there and every Amazon employee, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
There will probably be a vote this week on a big bill. Included in the bill is $10 billion for Blue Origin's, Bezos' space company. $10 billion.
If you go to space, you can make sure that you're treating people well and giving them solid health care benefits.
In a given year, Jeff Bezos, one of the wealthiest people in this country, did not pay a nickel in federal income tax. Can you believe it? You paid more than Bezos paid. Amazon makes a whole lot of money in a given year. They don't pay any taxes. Enough is enough.
correct.
All right, we're going to create an economy that works for working people, not just billionaires. Let's go forward together. Thank you.
Bernie's a fucking Chad, dude. Bernie's a fucking Chad.
All right, if I walk into a Starbucks and I'm looking for a job, what do I get paid? Anyone know roughly?
I got 12.
How much?
About 15 now for me.
You got 15?
13.
13.
12.
$12 an hour. Do you know that those are horrendously low wages? Don't question. Of course you know. Can you afford the health care that they give you? No. All right, so understand. I want you to understand this. Because this is the bullshit the corporations often do. What they say to the public, McDonald's does it as well, Walmart does it. They say, oh, we're really generous. We are offering health care. We have this, we have that. And you look at the figures, nobody takes it because they can't afford it. You understand that that is a bad situation. Anybody can walk across the street, get hit by a bus. You have friends who have been diagnosed with serious illnesses, right? It can happen to anybody.
I rejoined Starbucks in July last year whenever I moved to Richmond, and then in late August I was diagnosed with cancer.
Okay.
And so I had no choice but to work full-time hours at Starbucks to afford health insurance so that I could get chemotherapy and all my medications. So I'm working at least 30 hours a week. I'm chemo sick.
What is your name?
My name is TJ.
TJ? All right. Thank you.
Thank God I had my last treatment in January. I'm getting my hair done.
I wanted to know how much knowledge you have about the hours you're working in the next couple of weeks.
It's never certain. You can tell your manager how many hours you want to work, and they might give it to you, but it's really up to them.
All right, so you may end up working 35
Axel, it sounds really interesting.
I can get scheduled 28 hours tomorrow. So
is that sometimes? Is that
yes, sir.
But now that we started union efforts, our store has actually hired a lot more employees very suddenly. We're now overstaffed and our hours are being cut.
So what I'm hearing from you is you may end up in a given month with less income than you thought you would have.
Yeah.
So it's hard to budget if you don't know how much money you're making. Is that right?
Yes. You know, up until very recently, a supervisor or barista who's been there 5 years, 10 years, 15 is making the same amount as one that's just starting.
All right, let me see how smart you guys are. Why do they do that? You would think if you work 5 years, if you work 1 year, you'd probably significantly more. Absolutely. Why do they keep your salary low?
Do they want us to leave?
Yeah. In other words, look, there are two different business models. One business model, the humane business model. So look, I want you to work for the company. All right? You're going to do good wages, benefits, everything. And you're going to move up the ladder. Okay? Because I want you to save. There's another business model, which is McDonald's, which is Walmart, which I learned today is Amazon. The truth is, I really don't want you to save. Because as soon as you're gone, I don't have to pay any benefits, then the next guy comes in. That is their term. When you bring in more people, you keep wages low, and you keep it churning around. Understand that what you are doing impacts not just your job in Starbucks, it is impacting the entire country. Real power rests with very, very wealthy people who own the economy, who own our political system. And the thing that these guys on top are most afraid of, but they are afraid that you guys will say, wait a minute, let's see, 31% increase in profits, $60 million for the former CEO, Schultz gets $1 billion richer, and I'm making 12 bucks. It doesn't make sense. That's not right. So what I want you to appreciate, your instincts here are right instincts. Now the system is not going to tell you that. And you are striking a nerve because you are acting in the way that millions and millions of people feel.
Boy, they can just do that anyway because unions effectively have no power to prevent harassment in right-to-work states like mine. Yes, they do. But that's not what right-to-work states do. Right-to-work states have to do with the money being paid to the union. It's a way of decertifying the union without decertifying. My dad was asking me if I knew any relief programs since I'm a lefty, but there really isn't anything unless he straight up loses his job. I did Amazon delivery for a whole year. The turnover rate is fucking insane. I think I saw one guy last longer than 6 months. Yeah, they know. They're trying to grind through people. Best part about Bernie is that none of this is for the camera. I was at Rep. Bush's protest for eviction freeze at the Capitol, and Bernie showed up and took the time to speak to us protesters, speaking one-on-one with people, demonstrating his level of care. AOC also did this along with Rep. Bush, Senator Markey. Fucking love Bernie. Bernie's the best, man. He's the best politician we have in America, but unfortunately, we have a system that is just so dedicated to stamping down on any kind of left-wing organizing that you know, he was target number one. And any popularity he had was seen as a threat. Bernie Sanders, while I was gone, Bernie Sanders and AOC went and rallied with the Amazon labor union, and it was some of the most wholesome and quite frankly, something that I was so happy to see, because I was always concerned about Chris, and I was like, you know, because some online left morons went to Chris right after he won the election and said, is this AOC's victory? And Chris unfortunately kind of fell in the trap and was like, no, it's not her victory, it has nothing to do with her, which of course is right. It's the workers' victory. But since then, he's kind of like, he's met with the president of the Teamsters, he talked on the phone with Bernie Sanders, and he's realized that this kind of like childish beef is wrecker shit. And he's pulled together everybody who really wants to fight. And it's truly one of the most uplifting things you're ever going to see. Okay, these people don't matter. Yes, it's happening. They're all starting to turn on him. They're calling him a class traitor for wearing nice clothes. Have we learned nothing? AOC and Bernie Sanders photo op with Amazon labor union. So, chat, these people are fucking brain dead. They have no followers anyway. No one watches this shit. No one watches this shit. What the fuck are you guys elevating this? Stop watching people who elevate this crap. It's meaningless. They don't have any viewers. They don't matter. Or if they do have viewers, they're right-wingers. Who gives a shit about these people? Frank Analysis? Who? It's not just that they're cloutless. They're stupid. Who gives a shit? They're cloutless and they're stupid. If they have clout, at least we would have to, you know, we'd have to refer to it. It would be valuable to wreck them. But if they have no clout, why are you elevating these people? Like, why? Why? What are you doing? And then you call these people the online left. They're not the online left. Hasan's the online left. I'm the online left. TYT is the online left. Sam Cedar is the online left. Michael Brooks was the online left. And yeah, the squad, in many ways, started from the online left. That's the online left. Who the fuck are these people? These are they're nobodies. They're nothing. Keffels is the online left. What the, who? Stop giving left to these dipshits. They're not the left. If somebody's attacking new organized labor, they're not on the left. This is not a opinion. This is just a fact. Rastafario, thanks for the tier 1 for 27 months.
In America, that the time is now to stand up to oligarchy, to stand up to this excessive corporate greed.
Everyone send me favorite AOC and Bernie clips. Mike, I can't believe I had to wake up to nothing the past 2 days. It makes doing my job unbearable. Thank you for being here today. Well, if you enjoy the stream, chat, you know what you need to do. We need Ilhan candy. All right, this better be Ilhan candy.
Our girl bosses, they are gatekeeping, they are slay queening, they are doing this in the name of Allah, of course, but they are doing girl boss shit. Our girl bosses.
One day we get some copium. One day she'll do a TikTok about me. Copium. One of my favorite Bernie moments. Okay, this is thank you GFD Music for the tier 3. I mean, everybody knows this. Everybody's seen this, right? I guess some of you are probably babies and you never saw this. I guess I should show you this just because it is, if you're new to politics within the last like 3 years or so, you probably never saw this. This is not what I meant, but it's fine.
That if he or she does their schoolwork seriously, does well, takes school. What? Now you see, this little bird doesn't know it. Oh. I think there may be some symbolism here. I know it doesn't look like it, but that bird is really a dove asking us for world peace. No more wars. In any case.
That's the Birdie Sanders. That's Birdie Sanders, chat. And he's still fighting. By the way, chat, Chris Small stole Hasan's drip. Oh, fuck. Chris stole Hasan's drip. Imagine if Bernie won in 2016. Okay, let's not do that, okay? Let's not fantasize like that. I've seen reports in the background Bernie is thinking of running again in 2024 if circumstances are right. What are your thoughts? My thoughts are I will support Bernie because if Joe Biden can run again, if Donald Trump can run again, then Bernie Sanders can run again. Absolutely. 1,100%. But I'd also like to see Bernie Sanders, and I think he's doing it. He's trying to pass the torch to AOC. He clearly loves AOC. So I am obviously taking his signals and trying to support Ilhan and AOC and the squad people. But we need to bring more people, more progressive need to be brought in. My favorite recent Bernie moment was in Battle Creek on a freezing day. Yeah. We watched that. You think she will run for president? Who knows?
If you can go to space, you can give our workers a bathroom break. Ain't that right? If you can go to space, you can make sure that you're treating people well and giving them solid health care benefits. That they don't have a 3-hour commute to and from work. That they can afford the house that they can live in. That people don't have to be sleeping in their cars in order to work for Amazon. All of this is an indignity and an injustice and it has no place in New York City. And we're going to change that. And right here, our workers out here are going to change that. So New York, it's time to step up for our workers, because we're going to make sure that they go all the way. All the way. We've got their back. We've got their back. And if Amazon and Blue Origin wants $10 billion contracts, and if they want $100 million tax breaks from the state, well, they got to do their end of the deal too. All right? So we're out here to support them. We're out here to make sure that we've got our workers back, because again, New York City is a union town, and we're not going to stop until the United States of America is union made. So thank you all so much. I'm going to introduce one of our other...
Beautiful. The hype is real. Who?
An economy that works for all,
and she's right
not
there.
just the few.
Okay, why is this why is this so out of focus? Fucking leftist streams, man. Leftist streams.
And I'm pleased to introduce to you a young woman who has revolutionized the United States Congress. She's doing an extraordinary job. Please welcome Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Thank you so much, Theo Bernie.
Andrea Ocasio-Cortez.
Theo Bernie always. Thank you, everybody. Let's just give a...
The fuck is happening with the audio? Mike, what are your thoughts on this website making you pump more ads and taking more of your sub money? They're not going to take more of my sub money. What?
Big shout out to the workers that did the damn thing out here at Amazon. What you all did, Chris.
Okay, I need to... Is it broken for everybody or just me?
And Derek and Justine.
They're apparently going from 70 to 50. Chat. Let me just say that they fucked up. I can't really talk about that, but there's no shot of my rev share changing.
And just so
it's not 70 for partners, new partners anyway. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Let me see this.
Many of our organizers here we just met behind closed doors was incredible and remarkable, and they reminded the world that you don't need millions of dollars to stand up to multi-billion-dollar corporations. You just got to do the work. You just need solidarity. You need to show people that you give a damn about them, and they will come together and organize and demand better for their lives. And so what happened here, out here, right, that you guys did in Staten Island.
Oh boy. Okay, I misread this. I thought they were considering increasing sub rev for everybody who isn't a top partner. Oh, this is very interesting. This is very interesting. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Island was just the beginning. It was the first domino to fall. The first one. And then we're going to have another election tomorrow, and we're going to support them in that, and then the day after that, and the day after that. All the way. All the way. Yeah. But what we need Amazon to do first and foremost is to recognize the union that won their election fair and square. Amazon's out here. In Bessemer, they changed the street lights. In Bessemer, they mess with the post offices. They'll recognize that loss. But when these workers win fair and square, they refuse to recognize their victory. So first and foremost, Jeff Bezos, Amazon, everybody, we got to recognize the fact that that they did this thing and they won a union election fair and square. And we have the first unionized Amazon in America right here in New York City. And now what we need to do next is make sure that we support them. All of us as a city need to remember that New York City is a union town. And if you're going to do business out here in New York, you got to treat our people right. And so if you can go to space, you can give our workers a bathroom break. Ain't that right? If you can go to space, you can make sure that you're treating people well and giving them solid health care benefits. That they don't have a 3-hour commute to and from work. That they can afford the house that they can live in. That people don't have to be sleeping in their cars in order to work for Amazon. All of this is an indignity and an injustice, and it has no place in New York City. And we're going to change that, and right here, our workers out here are going to change that. So New York, it's time to step up for our workers, because we're going to make sure that they go all the way. All the way. We've got their back. We've got their back. And if Amazon and Blue Origin wants $10 billion contracts, and if they want $100 million tax breaks from the state, well, they got to do their end of the deal too. All right? So we're out here to support them. we're out here to make sure that we've got our workers back because, again, New York City is a union town, and we're not going to stop until the United States of America is union made. So thank you all so much. And with that, I'm going to introduce one of our other major organizers behind this effort, Derek Palmer.
How you guys doing?
Has any unionized contract won contract? What? No. All that's happened so far is that they've won the initial elections, which gives them legal standing, right? And once you get, so this is the process that happens with a union. The first thing that happens is you identify the bargaining unit that you're going to try to organize. You get the workers together. You educate, agitate, organize, vote. You get in the organizing phase, you have people sign union cards, which is basically letters of intent to join the union and say that they want the union to represent them. Okay. Once you have 50% plus one of the bargaining unit, I believe that's the number. It might be wrong. This is off the top of my head, but it's 50% plus one of the proposed bargaining unit's workers have signed the union contract. The company has two choices. They can either do what's known as voluntary recognition, where they recognize the union, or they could call for what's known as a National Labor Relations Board election. So the National Labor Relations Board, which is a federal government agency, comes and they say, okay, and they make decisions on what the bargaining unit is. And they say, okay, this is what the bargaining unit is. And the company argues for these employees to be in or out. And the union argues that these employees should be in or out of the unit. And then they have a secret ballot election. And if the workers get a majority of the secret ballot election votes, then the union is legally recognized by the National Labor Relations Board, which means that they now may engage in various forms of collective action, labor actions. For example, strikes. So the union then goes to the company and says, we are the recognized labor union. We would like to organize collectively for the members of the union and create a union contract. Now, the company has a lot of different things they can do here. The company can decide at this point, okay, let's negotiate with the union. Or the company can slow roll this process and do fucking nothing and just kind of have people continue to work at the company with their pre-existing relationship that they had prior to the union existing. If the company decides not to negotiate with the union, well, then the workers have to take strike action. They have to take they have to threaten economic action against the company, like a strike. So the more employees and the more of the company's operations that are imperiled by the threat of strike, the more likely the company is to just negotiate the contract. So with something like Amazon Labor Union, they need to organize as many warehouses as they can if they're going to successfully be able to compel the company to negotiate a contract. The hardest part of any union fight is getting the first contract. So that's the situation we're in. All right, let's keep going.
ALU, ALU, ALU.
Oh, you only need 30% of the union to call for an election, source being I'm a board agent? Okay, cool. There you go. I thought that I was misremembering something. Yeah, thank you.
Man, I couldn't be more proud of this moment right here. Starting this movement in the beginning, we didn't have the support that we do now. And now that we won, I'm just glad that everyone's finally waking up and realizing the power that we have as an organization, as people. And I think that's been lost throughout these years, and I'm glad that it's finally back. Shout out to Birdie Sanders, man. You're a legend, bro. Seriously. Shout out to AOC. Thank you. Shout out to the community. We did this shit. Workers did this. Workers. So now we have to take this power and we got to take it to Jeff Bezos' office and we got to let him know that we mean business. We're not playing with y'all anymore. We've woken the country up, and I want us to continue on this journey, and I want us to win LDJ5. LDJ5 has been busting their ass, organizing day in and day out, and we need to support them. And also, we need to support all the Amazon facilities around the world who want to organize as well. Jeff Bezos, your time is coming, brother. Your time is coming. You hear me? The people have spoken. And it's time for us to whoop that ass in that election. It's over. Thank you. And if we don't get it,
now. It's been a while. So number one, we gotta win tomorrow, right? We're gonna start this off a good week, times 2. We're gonna give them another dub on their head. I'm tired of the rumors being spread about the ALU. Let me tell you this. This is an independent worker-led union that started with no money, 2 tables and 4 chairs over there last year. They tried to demonize me, saying that I have a vendetta against the company. You damn right, you fired me. Wrongfully. So, March 30th, 2020. March 30th, 2020. March 30th, 2020. We left a mark right there at that fence. Me and Derek, Jason Anthony, Jordan Flowers, Gerald Bryson. My brother, I see you over there, bro. Yeah. We left a mark right there. We said, we're not going to stand here during COVID, and we ain't going to accept these working conditions being deemed essential workers with no PPE, no facial mask, no cleaning supplies, nothing. From that moment forward, we never looked back. We said, you know what? If you're going to demonize us, of course we're going to take and fight to you. And we didn't. We didn't let up. We didn't quit. We didn't say, you know what, let's just take a legal action and sue Amazon. We said we're going to travel the country. We're going to go to Jeff Bezos' mansions. We're going to go to his penthouses. We're going to go anywhere that's necessary to advocate for workers' rights. And then after Alabama, we say, you know what, let's bring it back home to New York. And that's exactly what we did. We brought it right back to New York, to home base, and we beat them right here, right here.
Man, it would be if Michael Brooks was, man, I miss Michael so much, man. So many people have spun off the rails without Michael around. Brianna Joy Gray is probably, I mean, she was always kind of like, kind of clownish, but Michael kind of brought her back to sanity, and that allowed her to get an opportunity with Bernie, and now she's just a total fucking clown. Just an absolute joke.
And I'm so proud that our team expanded, the workers that are organizing expanded, and now we got to a point where the workers are now organizing themselves. And it's not just here in Amazon. We got emails from Walmart, we got emails from Target, Dollar General, from Apple, from Starbucks. We are going to take over the country. The workers are. The workers are going to fight back and take over the country. This is a worker-led movement, the labor movement now. And I'm telling you now, this is just the beginning. Stay tuned, stay connected with us. We're going to need this support through, continuing from here on out. You know, the revolution, this is what you're witnessing right now. This is the revolution. This is the revolution. And I want to say thank you all again. Thank you, Bernie. Thank you, AOC. We have some workers here that want to address some issues, and I just believe the press is going to have questions for you guys. So I'm going to bring up Mitch and Maddie from LDJ5. They are the lead organizers right now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out. We really appreciate all the community support behind us. I just want to give a shout out to the LDJ5 workers.
And this is Bernie Sanders, right? Bernie doesn't just show up and do a speech and leave. Bernie Sanders sits there and watches these organizers. Like, he truly is. I mean, I just want to say this. If you didn't support Bernie Sanders during his presidential runs, you are why the world sucks. Legit. You are why politics is corrupt. You are a fucking piece of shit. You bear personal responsibility. Disgusting to see that we have Joe Biden as president, man.
Y'all are my heroes. We're going to win this. You know, we won JFK 8. That was a group effort. JFK 8 and LTJ 5, we are not two separate buildings. We are one. All the issues are the same. Of course, there are differences between the building, but we need the union in JFK 8. We need the union in LTJ 5. We need the union in all Amazon warehouses all across the world, and every worker deserves a union. So, thank you so much for coming out. Every worker who votes yes, you guys are my heroes. I love you all, and if you, of course, you know, this is our moment to be part of something truly great. This is just the beginning. It started with JFK 8. LTJ 5 would be the first sort center in the U.S. to unionize, and we'd be the second in history in the United States to unionize, and we'd all be part of local number 1. The first Amazon Workers Union. So, yeah, I just want to, boost our rally later at 3. And, this is about the LDJ5 workers today. So we're going to win this. We're going to win round number 2. And, this starts right here with us. LDJ5 is just as important as JFK8. So I want all of y'all LDJ5 people to remember that.
Thank you. I'm gonna bring up Bernie. Bernie, you want to answer some questions to the press? We're gonna step back down.
What's the downside of voting for the union? Why isn't it just a given that people vote to unionize? Typically, people have all sorts of weird, dumb beliefs about unions. One, that unions will protect bad workers. 2, that the unions' dues will be too expensive. 3, that they're such a great employee that they're going to rise through the ranks due to their own merit. 4, we used to need to have unions before, when people were dying in coal mines and there was child labor and stuff, but now we have like other stuff, so we don't need them anymore. Oh, I'm not going to work at this job for very long, so I don't want to do any like organizing around it. This is especially true of blue collar work or warehouse work like Amazon Labor Union. A lot of people who work at like say McDonald's or warehouse jobs, they have self-loathing. They think I'm better than this job I'm working. I'm better than a warehouse worker. I'm better than the other fast food workers. So they don't want to identify with a union of those type of workers because it would burst their narcissistic bubble. Basically, all the myths have to do with flattering your own ego and lying to you about your ability to negotiate with your boss. Unions actually produce better workers than non-union workplaces. I would go with the best electrician in my state, who is a union electrician, over my best non-union electrician. No fucking question. Who do you think develops code? Who do you think develops proper best practices? Think it's fucking non-union scum who cut corners to make money? It's professionals who have dedicated themselves to the craft. Who do you think is more productive? Somebody who got hired 6 months ago at $10 an hour, or somebody who gets paid $25 an hour, has vacation, has health care, and could afford to live? It's obviously the latter. So, businesses are very intelligent about exploiting the American mentality that I'm a super duper worker. I work so hard, everyone else is lazy. And so, those are typically what you'll hear when you discuss unions with people. Can confirm unionized dock workers are better than non-union run-of-the-mill, don't know what's going on the job site. No shit. Do you think it's a good idea to place unionization pamphlets on bus stops and public areas to get the word across? I think you should always be propagandizing, but I think stuff like lit drops and non-focused organizing isn't that effective, in my opinion. I wouldn't spend a lot of time doing that if it were me. Mike, do you have any advice on anyone wanting to organize a strike but are fearful of losing everything if they are fired for trying, or do they get fired and life becomes rough? Hope that makes sense. There's never anything worth fighting for comes with some risk, obviously. But now that we're in a relatively tight labor market, bosses, this is the best opportunity you're probably going to have to make these kind of moves, until we change the laws. Now is the time, and you're not going to lose everything, and by the way, even if you don't organize, even if you don't unionize, even if you make no effort to get a contract, you could lose anything anyway. Tomorrow, your company could decide that you're not making them enough money, or they want to move the factory, or they want to move your job. They want to replace you with a young entry-level employee. You're never safe. You're never safe. Anybody telling you that you're safe is lying to you. What about if you're an artist, specifically an animator? Agitprop is great. Agitprop is great.
Any question? Let me just reiterate what this whole thing about working people.
What do you say to people that say unions are corrupt? Businesses are more corrupt? Have you ever seen a company work? Have you ever had a job? Everyone who's ever had a job knows about the fail son nephew who gets the the friend of the boss who gets the promotion who's incompetent. Everybody knows about the thousands of lobbyists and billions of dollars spent on our politicians. What, you think they're doing that for good governance? You think ExxonMobil is dumping millions of dollars into Ted Cruz's reelection because he's the best senator that could be? Corruption flows from the mega rich, and they corrupt it for their own benefit. Now, are there some people that misuse misuse their offices and unions? Of course. There's some doctors who misuse their position. There's teachers that misuse their position. There's police officers that misuse their position. There's corporate exec. I mean, that's just called humanity. But the thing about unions is the top union leader doesn't make that much money. They are accountable to their members in a democratic election. The Hafas were just thrown out of power in the Teamsters union. So are all unions perfect? Absolutely not. Are all unions corrupt? Absolutely not. It's like any other aspect of human endeavor. There's corrupt people and there's uncorrupt people. I was fired because a failed daughter gave me the wrong information. Then when I double checked, lied and said she didn't. Oh, interesting. All right, let's go.
Standing up against the extraordinary level of greed that we are seeing in it. Right. I don't know how, when you are worth $170 billion.
It's like let me explain it to you in another analogy. It's like if you get arrested, is the fact that some lawyers are corrupt mean you're not gonna get your own lawyer? That's asinine. Like I was thinking about getting a lawyer for my case, but I heard that some lawyers are corrupt. Should I defend myself? Are you crazy? Of course you should get professionals, and that's what unions are. They're professionals at organizing. They're professionals and experts at labor law. They know how to negotiate. Trust me. And this is not just like a trust thing. This is also a fact thing. You go and compare non-union to unionized employees at every educational level, from non-high school all the way to postgraduate degree and professional degree. Unionized workers make more than non-union. I see unions as a net good, but I wish having a union didn't mean piece of shit employees get their support and often help them keep their job when they're genuinely worthless. That literally happens in every job. Genuinely worthless people keep their jobs for all sorts of reasons. But I can tell you right now, if somebody is worthless, other unionized employees know it. They don't want to have to carry the load for somebody else. We just think people should be treated fairly. Something terrible has happened. My gift sub has expired. Yeah, feels really bad, man.
Why you are spending money trying to break a union so that workers can have decent wages, decent working conditions, decent health care, decent housing. How much money does Bezos and the other billionaires need?
There's no number. They're always going to want more.
What we're seeing now, and you guys are helping to lead that effort, millions of people standing up saying enough is enough. All right, we're going to create an economy that works for working people, not just billionaires. Congratulations to all that you've done. Let's go forward together. Thank you.
You absolutely love to see it, chat. I'm very, very excited about that. I'm very, very excited about that. That's pretty much one of the most important things that we can see going forward is watching Starbucks get unionized, watch Amazon get unionized, because those are companies who have a tremendous amount of power. But the reality is, chat, you can't outsource a warehouse. You can't outsource a local coffee shop. Sorry, you can't move that to China. Those companies have to employ Americans. So to rebuild the American labor movement, we have to unionize workplaces that can't be moved. You have an obligation to like, comment, and subscribe.